In a quiet, all-American suburb of Salt Lake City, not everything is what it seems. Behind the smiles and the picturesque family photos, death came knocking on the Richins family door. To cope with the sudden death of her husband, Kouri Richins published a children's book about grief. But was she really grieving, or was she hiding a secret? That's the question many of us want to know. Hey everyone, thanks for being with us for another week of Two Creme Newsies. I'm Jen.
Hi, I'm Tina.
Oh, this was a good one. Tina came up with this episode and I enjoyed it.
It was intriguing. I heard about this at least a year ago or so, but I haven't seen a lot on it.
Agreed. Before you mentioned it, had never heard of this woman, but now I'm definitely going to be keeping up with it.
Yeah, there is a trial coming up, and we will be following.
Definitely. So this week on Two Crime Newsies, we're talking about a show called The People versus Kouri Richins. Now, it's a 48 hours episode, and it's narrated by Natalie Morales. The town that this takes place in is Camas, Utah, which is a suburb of Salt Lake City. It's surrounded by these like picturesque mountains, and then you have these valleys where there's like cattle and beautiful just land. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Agreed.
And the two people who we're predominantly going to be talking about are Eric and Kouri Richins. Now, the couple met in 2009 at Home Depot. Apparently, Kouri was a cashier and Eric would come in for items for his construction business. And they ended up starting to date and they got married in 2013. And they had 3 adorable little boys.
The pictures we see of these two and their family are so cute. And Kouri seems very sweet, like someone we would be friends with.
Oh, yeah, I would totally be her friend before everything that we find out on the show.
Right.
So Eric, at this point in time, is 39 years old, and he's a very successful business owner who does contracting type work. We hear that Kouri Richins, his wife, is a real estate agent who's also a flipper. And a flipper, for those who might not know, is somebody who buys a property that needs some kind of upkeep, needs to be renovated to make it look good, and then turns around and sells it for a profit.
I love those flip shows on HGTV.
Same.
I mean, the way they take something so rundown looking and just turn it into something so beautiful. Amazing, these people. Okay, so we hear from Greg Hall. He was Kouri's marketing director for her real estate business and also a good friend of Kouri's. He says Kouri had something that many other people don't. He says many times you find someone who is intelligent but lacks common sense, or vice versa. They have common sense but lack intelligence. And Greg says Kouri had both. She was brilliant. And Kouri's mom said on average, Kouri was working on flipping 3 houses at a time. I couldn't even imagine doing one.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
I have trouble keeping up with doing more than one task at a time. Like, could you imagine 3 construction projects going on?
No. That's crazy. The couple lived in a really nice home. Kouri's mom said they lived very well. Both of them bought what they wanted and spent what they wanted. And they also traveled the world because Eric had a hunting hobby. And Kouri's mom says they had it all.
You know who else has it all right now? Your sister has it all. I want to give a shout out to Tina's sister who got married this past weekend.
Shout out to my sister and my new brother.
Yeah.
Oh, love them both.
I'm so excited for them. Okay,
Yes.
Back to the show. Little shout out to them. So friends say that these two were genuinely in love and they seemed happy with one another. But all of this took a dark turn in the early morning hours of March 4th of 2022. We hear on the show that Kouri had poured Eric a drink, a Moscow Mule. Do you know what those are?
Yes, Jen. I love a Moscow Mule.
Do you?
They're so refreshing, especially when they come in those gorgeous cups.
Oh, the
little
like
copper cups.
Yeah.
I mean, so good.
I feel like they're pretty drinks. It's not my like drink of choice by any means, but yeah.
You know, I could probably use in a Moscow Mule. Is it mint?
It's mint and I think vodka.
Mint and vodka. If they could add a ginger ale in there,
Oh, I can't do ginger ale.
You can't do ginger ale?
No, ginger ale makes me gag. Ugh.
Oh my gosh. There is an amazing restaurant. I don't know if it's a chain. It was called Taste in Virginia. And they had fountain drink ginger ale. And it was so good. Like the bubbles.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Perfection. I dream about it. I can't find it anywhere.
Well, Korik and Eric were not drinking ginger ale this night. They were drinking Moscow Mules.
That's okay. It's still delicious.
And they were celebrating a new business venture for Kouri's real estate business. Apparently, she had purchased a 20,000 square foot mansion for $3.9 million that she planned to flip. And if this flip was successful, she would make a $12 million profit. 12 million, Tina. That's a lot of M's. Like, million.
I can't fathom that.
And to me, that's reason enough to have a couple of drinks right there.
But this place wasn't just a mansion. It looks like an estate. I could probably house my whole extended family there. Everybody that was at this wedding in this house. There's a main house, a guest house on a 10-acre piece of land with a gorgeous mountain view.
We see it on the show, and it is absolutely stunning.
I also wanted to know, Jen, what was wrong with the mansion that she wanted to flip it? And how she expected to make such a big profit. It was already almost $4 million, and she's gonna make $12 million off of it. There's got to be something wrong with the mansion. So I went down a rabbit hole for 45 minutes.
That's like my kind of rabbit hole right there.
I know, aren't they fun?
I was so proud of you.
Thank you. It turns out the mansion was under construction in 2017 and never finished. The guest house alone is 4,000 square feet.
That's bigger than my house.
That's like 2 homes.
Yeah, the guest house is bigger than 2 regular houses.
The main house has 8 bedrooms and 11 and a half bathrooms, and the original plans included a 9-car garage.
9 cars?
9 cars. A therapy room, a pool, an exercise room, a golf simulator.
Wow.
And an indoor volleyball court. Because who wants to play volleyball with a mountain view?
Wow.
The property was originally intended to be a venue or an event space. And there's also a YouTube video where you can tour the 3D rendering of what the house would have looked like on the inside. And I was very underwhelmed when I saw this.
You really went down a rabbit hole.
I told you. The finishes in this rendering did not look like a multi-million-dollar mansion to me. I expect at the very least of something so pricey, crown molding in every room.
Yeah.
Right? Some decorative ceilings.
Oh, 100%.
100%, right? Unique lighting fixtures.
Of course.
I mean, bare minimum, right?
Yeah.
No, none of it. It had none of that. The kitchen also looked very basic to me. Subway tile walls.
What?
Yeah.
I have that in my kitchen.
I saw nothing grand about this kitchen. It looks to me like an enormous Airbnb, which I guess maybe that's what it was meant to be. But for such a big price tag.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
Huh.
So, Jen, for anyone who wants to watch the YouTube video, do you think we can include the link in our show notes?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll put it on the bottom.
Okay, great. And then after this, you should tour it yourself. We can tour it together so you can take a look.
Yeah. Wow. Well, back to the show. Kouri told her mom that they went to bed after this whole celebration drink. Kouri, according to the show, told her mom that she and Eric went to bed shortly after 9 p.m. And then she ended up going and laying down with their 9-year-old son at the time who had night terrors. And after the son was asleep, Kouri's mom says that she went back into her bed around 3 in the morning, and that's when she touched Eric, but he was cold. We hear on the show that Kouri pushed Eric and he didn't move, so she called 911. First responders showed up and suspected that Eric had died of an aneurysm. And since he was so young, remember at this point, he was only 39 years old. An autopsy was ordered, and his cause of death turned out to be fentanyl overdose, which I'm like, what? This suburban dad, fentanyl? Something suspicious is going on here. The $3.9 million question, bump.
Love it.
How did fentanyl get into Eric's system? And family members of Kouri suspect he took something laced with fentanyl.
They blame his, quote, recreational drug use. And Kouri's family says Eric would supposedly take a THC gummy pretty often. They say nearly every day. Kouri's mom also says that Eric sometimes took pain pills, but I find that hard to believe, Jen.
Yeah.
If you're taking pain pills recreationally, it's probably pretty difficult to lead a successful life. I mean, it's just my personal opinion.
Well, and the THC gummies, I mean, like, one, you're not going to get hooked on them.
Hopefully not. I don't know, Jen. I've taken a regular gummy, like, you know, what are they called? Haribos?
Oh my gosh.
I can eat an entire package of those. They are delicious.
Okay, but like with the THC gummies or the CBD gummies, you don't become hooked on them. It's not like you have to keep popping them.
Like it's not an addictive thing.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I don't buy it. I don't buy that he was popping pain pills and being this wonderful dad and leading this great successful business.
Eric's family, meanwhile, doesn't think that's the case at all. Greg Scortis, who's a family spokesperson for Eric's family, says that he didn't die of a self-inflicted drug overdose. His family said, this doesn't smell right.
Agree. Red flag.
Months after Eric's death, Kouri and her 3 little boys were having a really hard time dealing with the grief. Obviously, I feel like that's a natural. Like your whole world has just crumbled.
Yeah.
So Kouri ended up writing a children's book about the journey through grief called Are You With Me?
This happened a year after Eric's death, and we see a clip of her promoting the book on a local Utah morning show.
The show reads us an excerpt from the book, and it made me cry. Like, it takes quite a bit to really make me cry at something emotionally.
It does. I was shocked that you cried.
It made me cry. So it shows someone who looks like Eric watching over a little boy. And in this book, the excerpt that we see on the screen says, "Yes, I am with you on Christmas. I'm in my Christmas pajamas, hot chocolate, and I have the glow in my eyes watching you open your gifts. You can't see my smile, but it's there. I'm here, and we're together." It ripped my heart out. I literally bawled on the living room couch listening to this.
Especially because it looks like Eric in the book. They made his face look a lot like his face. And there's a dedication at the beginning of the book, and it reads, "Dedicated to my amazing husband and a wonderful father." And for anyone curious, I did go down another rabbit hole. And it doesn't look like the book is available anywhere for purchase, but there's a YouTube video of someone reading the book. And I watched the whole 5-minute video of the book reading, and knowing what I know now, beyond cringy.
I'm sure. As life is starting to get back to normal for Kouri and the kids, police, 1 year after Eric's death, remember she had gone on that morning show to promote her book? Mm-hmm. After that, in May of 2023, Kouri ended up getting arrested. And police believed she had murdered Eric and was charged with aggravated murder.
This was only a few weeks after she was on that morning show promoting the book.
Well, and that's good for the morning show because they had B-roll of her doing the interview.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Think about that. Like, win-win for the TV station.
Surely.
Court documents say that Kouri had poisoned her husband, Eric. And we hear from Eric's family's representative who says that they suspect she put a lethal dose of fentanyl in his Moscow Mule that night. We hear on this show that even though the marriage looked perfect on the outside, Eric and Kouri had some issues. Turns out, to protect his assets, we hear on the show that Eric put his estate into a secret trust without telling Kouri, and he ended up naming his sister in charge of that will. That's a big red flag, if you ask me. In my opinion, if you're hiding wills from your spouse, I feel like there's a lot going on behind closed doors in that relationship.
Absolutely. There's a lot of back and forth in this show of both families blaming the other side.
I had texted Tina while I was watching this, and I was like, dude, there's a lot of like finger pointing here.
Definitely.
He said, she said.
Yeah, it kind of makes your head spin watching it. Kouri's family says one thing about their marriage. Eric's family then denies it. Both mention they went to counseling together, so I guess that's something they both agree on.
Yep.
It's apparent that there were some issues then, though we don't know exactly what those issues are because both sides say there were different issues. Also, back to the trust that Eric created, this tells me that he's protecting his kids in case something happens to him.
Oh, that's a good idea. I hadn't even thought about that.
I, at that point, Jen, wouldn't be taking any drinks or food from someone that I thought might be out to get me.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sketch. But realistically, like, you're living with this person, and they're gonna cook something for you. They're gonna pour you a drink, you know.
But you're afraid you're afraid something's gonna happen to you. How do you expect? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder.
Yeah.
What the thought was behind that.
You do that, like, swap of the food, like, I take your plate, like, that whole thing.
That would be off. I would move out at that point. If I have to swap my food or make you taste the drink first, like, that's over. We're not friends. We're not married. I'm out.
You're out. We hear on this show from somebody named Ronnie, who is Kouri's brother. Now, Ronnie says that in the months leading up to Eric's death, the couple was doing fantastic and they were in a super good place. So why would Kouri want her husband dead? Eric's family believes a life insurance policy could be to blame. I feel like this is one of those things you always hear about the life insurance policies.
Yeah.
Like, it's never a good thing.
Yeah.
Especially in the true crime genre. At the time of his death, there were 6 life insurance policies on Eric, totaling about $3 million. 6 policies. I feel like that's crazy.
Jen, I've heard of one policy.
Same.
6?
I know. So court documents say that 2 months before Eric's death, Kouri also forged her husband's signature on another life insurance policy for an additional $100,000.
So I guess that's the only one he didn't know about. But if you know that there's 5 other insurance policies, how do you not think that's a red flag?
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it was possible to get more than one.
I didn't either.
That's crazy.
Wow. So court documents also allege that Kouri stole money from Eric's businesses, totaling more than $500,000 over the years. Now, a lot in part to her home flipping business. Eric's family spokesperson said Kouri's flipping business was drowning in over $2 million in debt.
Nightmare. Mm-hmm. We see a copy of a premarital agreement between Kouri and Eric. In the agreement.
Is that a prenup?
Yeah.
A premarital agreement? That's a prenup, right?
I think they called it a premarital agreement, right? Which is, I would assume, a prenup. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. In the agreement, Kouri gives up claim to Eric's business assets, except that if the husband should die prior to the wife while the two are lawfully married. Did she read that? I mean, who goes back and looks at all the little details in the prenup?
If you even have a prenup.
If you even have one. Kouri's side denies any forging of documents, by the way. Or any stolen money. And regarding the $2 million in debt, they say that's how flipping houses works. You take out lines of credit and you pay the money back when you sell the home.
Which is something that I've heard. I used to watch on Bravo. There was a show with Jeff Lewis. Do you remember that show?
Yes.
And he made a comment about that before, that like at the time he would have to take out these loans. And so he would have multiple properties going and flipping multiple properties. And so sometimes it was hard to get these loans because until they're paid back, which makes sense realistically. So when I was watching this and they discussed this part, it made me think back to that episode with Jeff Lewis, and I was like, okay, I can kind of see where this is coming from.
I absolutely see it, especially if you're flipping, as they said, 3 houses at a time. I see where she could be $2 million in debt because you have to buy the property, then you have to pay for the property to get redone and all of the things. And I understand that, but if you're doing this because you need so much money, you have to have an abundance of it.
Yeah, I could not do that.
No, this is too stressful, I think, for the average person.
Agreed. I would be drinking those magnesium drinks that you told me about before the show.
There's this magnesium drink out there. We obviously do not have a paid sponsorship, but if they would love to sponsor us, we will drink them all day long.
I'm sitting here drinking my coffee.
There's this drink called Refresh, and it has really, there's been days where I clench my jaw and I'm that tense, and I drink this drink, and in minutes I am just up, back to normal and calm. Cool, calm, and collected. The can says, agreed.
Shout out to Refresh. If you want to sponsor us, like, go for it.
You would like to fuel the podcast.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Eric's family also states in the show that they believe Kouri had tried to poison Eric before. According to a court document, Eric's family, the first attempted poisoning was in 2019 when Eric and Kouri were in Greece with friends on vacation. They say that night she gave him a drink. Are we noticing some similarities? And he became violently ill.
If it happened once, never taking a drink from you again. Anyway, Kouri's family claims Eric was drinking while he was on medication, and that's what made him sick.
I don't know. The second time the family believes Kouri tried to poison him was a month before he died. We hear on the show on Valentine's Day 2022. They say Kouri made Eric a sandwich, and Eric broke out in hives and couldn't breathe after one bite. And Kouri's attorney, meanwhile, says there's nothing out there to support this accusation besides Eric's family's claims. So again, it's that back and forth. He said, she said, which I feel like any good family would have either their loved one who is accused of this back or the person whose loved one has passed away. Like, what you do, you protect your family.
Right.
And in court documents, we hear that Eric's family states that 2 days after Eric passed away, Kouri punched his sister. And it was the sister who's named as the executor of his hidden will. And apparently we hear that she punched this woman in the face and in the neck when the sister tried to stop Kouri from opening a safe that contained between $125,000 and $160,000 in cash. Who in the world keeps that much money in their house?
Not me, Jen. If we did, we definitely have better podcasting equipment.
That is a fact.
Yeah. Also, this is when Kouri finds out about the secret trust. She didn't know about it until then. We hear that Eric's sister told Kouri at this time that she now owns the house because her name is in the trust. And that's allegedly what started the argument between Kouri and Eric's sister.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. If somebody said that to me 2 days later, I'd probably punch somebody in the face too.
I can see that. I mean, you're grieving the loss of your husband.
Yep.
And then someone says,
"This is my house.
This is my house." Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
I mean, I would probably get heated too.
I would get heated. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's probably not, that's not good. Unless, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, if the sister suspects she's to blame, I see why she was angry. I see both sides here, really.
Definitely. So we hear from Kouri's brother, who says both women were swinging at each other apparently during the scuffle until Eric's sister got up, left the house, and called police. And a month later, Kouri was charged with assault, to which she pled no contest. This woman it's on a downward trajectory here. Kouri, she's in jail, right? At this point, it's June of 2023. Kouri Richins, she's been charged with murder, and she is sitting in jail. Now, in June of 2023, she has a bond hearing, and we get to see some of this on the show, which, you know, I love some trial footage.
Yes.
And prosecutors called a cell phone expert to this bond hearing, in which we hear that Kouri had made some suspicious Google searches on her phone. So I'm going to read you some of the things that she searched, okay? And tell me what you think, because I think some of these are a little suspect.
Okay.
So she Googled, according to the show, can deleted text messages be retrieved from an iPhone? Okay, that's kind of weird.
Have you Googled that before?
I probably have.
Have you? I
don't know. I mean, but it's also one of those things. I'm like, I feel like it's common sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. There's no need to Google that.
Yeah. Can FBI find deleted messages? Again, yes.
Okay. Here I'm going back to think about what her marketing manager said about her having the common sense. Surely. Like, come on.
Yeah. If you're Googling, can FBI find deleted messages? Like, you're...
Is this her child Googling this?
Potentially. And then this other question. This raises a lot of red flags. What is a lethal dose of fentanyl?
I can honestly say never Googled that.
I have not Googled that either. It was funny. Oh my gosh. I have to tell you, one time, one of my family members was in the hospital, and I will never forget. So he was in the emergency room, and the doctor came in and was like, I'm going to give you some like fentanyl for the pain. And the doctor goes, don't worry. It's not the sketchy fentanyl. We were just like, really? I can't believe you just said that. Like, what hospital setting would you even be worried about sketchy fentanyl?
No, I'm glad he said it. I mean, I would actually wanted to know that too. Like, wait, you're giving me what?
I think that was probably like my reaction hearing that. I was like, that's the thing we hear about that you don't want.
Yeah, because you hear it in such a negative, bad context, you know. Like, as a drug,
yeah,
it would. I'd say, sir, is there anything else in this hospital? Anything at all that you can possibly give me instead?
But yeah, I feel like what is a legal dose of fentanyl? Googling that search is very suspect.
Incriminating.
We hear from Kouri's attorney, who says there's a simple explanation for all of these searches. You want to hear what it is? She says they were conducted after Eric's death.
In other words, Kouri's attorney is saying that she probably searched for answers for things that she was being accused of. Interesting.
Yeah, that's a word for it. Sure. Prosecutors during this bond hearing also called in the lead detective in the case, who said Kouri got the fentanyl from somebody who worked for her, a cleaning lady of sorts. The detective says that the woman had a criminal history and was on probation for multiple drug distribution charges at the time. The detective told the judge in the bond hearing that the woman had sold Kouri fentanyl in February of 2022, shortly before Valentine's Day.
Right. This allegedly happened 3 days before Eric ate that sandwich that made him sick.
Yep.
The story here, according to the detective, is that Kouri asked the cleaning lady for the drugs for an investor who had a back injury.
Dude, go to the doctor.
If you're an investor, you surely have a doctor on call.
You probably have health insurance.
You definitely have health insurance, and you can afford it if you don't. And you probably have a bestie who's a doctor.
Probably. Your golfing buddy.
Your golfing buddy, exactly.
So the detective states on the show that a week later, Kouri contacted the woman again and said that she wanted some more fentanyl that was stronger. We're told that Kouri wrote a check for the drugs for $1,300. And I'm just like, a check? Are you serious? Who buys drugs with a check?
Here we go. I'm going back to it. Where is the common sense?
I mean, a check. Okay, I can say probably within the last year, I've written 6 checks total.
Yes.
I don't write checks.
No.
Who writes checks for drugs?
To be fair, this was how many years ago? Like 2022? Is that right?
Yeah.
It's still not that long ago. I haven't written a check regularly since, I don't know, the
since early 2000s?
Early 2000s,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And then to be buying drugs with them. Like, I don't think you're going to go up to Joe Schmo on the street who's slinging fentanyl, like my terminology there.
With a check.
With a check. Like, if we would go to the cocaine pirate of North Florida.
He'd probably want Cash App.
Probably. Like, you're not going to go to the Cuban and be like, hey, let me have some of that.
Here's my check.
Here's my check.
That has my address where I live.
Yeah. By the way, if you haven't gone back and listened to the Cocaine Pirate of North Florida, it's a hilarious episode that we did a little while back. If you need some laughs, you need something to brighten your day, go back and listen to it. It's one of my favorites.
And definitely watch The Legend of Cocaine Island. That was so fun.
Mm-hmm. All right. So at this point, the defense during this bond hearing asked the detective if the check would have been for cleaning houses for the business, to which we hear the detective says he doesn't want to speculate it. To me, this makes sense. It does not make sense to buy drugs with a check. It makes sense to pay a cleaning lady to do her job with a check. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, it's just how stupid to pay for drugs with a check. A check is basically a record of something happening. And you don't want anyone to know that you're buying drugs. So in my opinion, you're not going to write a check.
You know, the check was for $1,300. How many homes is this cleaning lady cleaning? Yeah, at one time.
At one time. I don't know.
And the cleaning lady, Jen, also has a criminal history, which isn't the most credible.
Agreed. So at this point, Kouri was ordered to stay in jail until the trial. According to Town Lift newspaper, Park City Online, whew, that's a lot. Yeah. They published an article in June of 2025 saying that Eric Richins' trial will start on February 23rd of 2026, and jury selection for the trial will start in February of 2026. And while all this time has passed, remember, this crime occurred in 2022. Mm-hmm. Kouri is still in jail. And we heard on the show that the three little boys, I mean, they're, in my opinion, one Eric victim, we know he died of fentanyl. However it got into his system, that's one thing. But you have these three little boys who have had their entire life uprooted. Mm-hmm. We hear on the show that they only get to talk to their mom once or twice a week, and then they're living with family members of Eric's. And these poor kids, it just breaks my heart for them.
I know. If she truly did this, monster for wrecking the lives of her children.
And I was curious what happened to the $3.9 million mansion that Tina had talked about. And according to the same newspaper, Town Lift Park City Online, the mansion was bought by the president of a water and wastewater construction company in Southern California. Besides Tina going down this rabbit hole of seeing what this thing was supposed to look like completed, I was looking at the property on Zillow, and it says that it's off market and it has an estimated value of $4.7 million. And there's no updated photos. There's no word if it was, in fact, ever completed, really.
Sir, if you're out there listening and you own this property, please do not use those original plans for it. They were awful.
They were that bad?
Back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board?
Do not waste this space. It has such a scenic view.
We, of course, will keep you updated on this whole Eric Richins thing. It's still going to be a little while until the trial starts, but Tina is like invested in this case.
Absolutely.
So she will be following it just as closely probably as I will the Long Island serial killer case or the Brian Koberger case.
Oh, those are all so good.
I know, there's so many good murdery things going on right now.
Yeah.
That sounds so
I mean,
wrong.
It sounds terrible. We do not like this, people. Okay? We want to see justice done. And that's what the excitement is about.
Agreed. Okay. So the last couple weeks, we've been doing a shout out to somebody who leaves us a review. And I'm going to read one that we just received from Apple Podcasts. And it's from a user named Kabir Tech Dives. And he gives us 5 stars. Yay! Thanks, Kabir. And And he says, truly entertaining. I usually don't listen to this style of podcast, but it was super entertaining. Tina, we're entertaining.
Thank you.
Yay!
Normally, I think I'm annoying, but I appreciate
You
that.
are not annoying. I love you, Tina.
Thank you, Kabir. Appreciate it so much. If you want to give us a 5-star review, please do.
We love it.
If you loved the show, if you had fun listening to the story today, if you want to hear more stories,
If we make you laugh.
if we make you laugh, there are so many ways you can support us, and giving us a 5-star review it's free.
Yeah.
And it's easy to do.
And write us a review, and it makes our day. You can also, I'm sitting here drinking my cup of coffee. Tina's sitting here drinking her cup of coffee. You can support us by making a donation to the podcast. We are at
buymeacoffee.com.
Thank you much.
It's actually buymeacoffee.com/2crimenewsies.
You can also hit that subscribe button, and that way you never miss out on any of our episodes.
That's right.
And send us an email if you have any ideas for future stories. We love getting things from viewers.
We sure
listeners.
do. Listeners, yes. We're at 2crimenewsies@gmail.com. Jen, where can they follow us on social?
We are on Facebook and on Instagram, and I'll put those links on the bottom of this podcast description. All right, everyone. It was another great week.
It sure was. I'm sad it's over already.
I know. I feel like next week maybe we can record 2 episodes
Yeah,
just so I can have
let's be here longer.
yeah, so I can have more Tina time.
Yes, I love it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another week of 2 Crime Newsies. We look forward to talking to you again next week about another case.
Sure do.
All right. Bye. Bye.